Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Wednesday, the 4th of April, 2018. Hope you had a good trading week so far. Monday was exciting a little bit. Futures were awesome. Futures were less exciting Tuesday. Market was on Tuesday. Didn't really get what I was looking for. It is what it is. Let's take a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market and futures forum. Still, overall in the decline, even though the S&P bounced a little bit on Tuesday after being sold off sharply on Monday, but you notice the 10-day moving average. We remain under that. Let's go through the daily charts, then we'll look at the intraday action, then we'll talk about the economic data that's due on Wednesday, and hope for some better action the rest of the week. Crude oil down 15 cents to 63.35, not a big deal. Gold down $2.30 to 13.35. S&P cash index gains 32.57. By the way, remember, cash index had a 13 secret buy signal the night before we point out, and from that we got a bounce. So the buy signal is working. Stocks up 25 to 1302, still nowhere near the highs. NDX, the NASDAQ 100, up 67.99, still nowhere near the highs, down for the first couple of days of the quarter. Biotech's up 14.10 and actually swept to new lows for the last year, it almost looks like at one point. During the day, the VIX is down 2.52 to 2110. The trend finally gets a really low close at 0.62. Puts the 10-day moving average at 1.24, but the problem is just a couple days ago we had that huge number over 2.5. So until that drops off the moving average, nothing really matters. NASDAQ volume 2.3 billion shares. Looks okay. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ negative 194, so more stocks down than up there. But on the on the New York was positive 1461. It's interesting to watch the advanced decline ratios recently because we've had like days where the NASDAQ is up and the advanced decline is negative. Now we got a day where it's up and it's again negative, but we've also had days where it was down and it was positive. Very strange, very confusing. It just shows you that it's all about the big couple of stocks and what they're doing. Google up $6.05, but still near lows for the last many months. Apple up $1.71 on the session. Amazon, just when the market looked like it was breaking, there was some. Remember, there's a war going on between Trump and Amazon right now, so it's been off, but we got a bounce. Maybe that there was a solution. And that shot the futures up. So up 20 points there on Amazon. Netflix up $3.38, still sitting on that static trend line. Tesla up 15.05, and that's up for the last few days where it's been down since the gap down. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down 94 cents. Goldman Sachs up $3.23. I should also point out, remember, the NASDAQ, I just want to say this. This is important because we talk about we don't see floating island reversals very often. But if you look at the NASDAQ and you go back a couple of weeks here, we talked about the fact that we had, early in March, we had a gap up day with a big white candle. And then we had 6 days where we were holding up, and then we gapped down. Remember that? And that was like 2 weeks ago now. And even though we gapped down, the trigger for the actual floating island is not until you then break the low of the day after you gap down. So you left those 6 days floating up top there. And that was actually a Monday, if you remember back. Tuesday was an inside day. Wednesday was still inside of that. And then Thursday, what I was hoping for was Thursday to be that breakdown day where we broke the lows of Monday. And instead, we basically gapped down and immediately, before we could do anything, broke the lows. But that's what triggers the island reversal. Island reversals are very powerful patterns. And from that, we're down several hundred points on the NASDAQ. So the patterns are important. You got to watch that stuff. ES front month futures contract 5-minute chart. Again, Monday gap down, didn't quite fill. Sold off most of the day. The afternoon was pretty flat. Tuesday, small gap up, filled, bounced around a bit. We were flat and heading lower late in the afternoon, even coming out of lunch. And then that's when the Amazon, maybe not being in such a war with Trump, caused a bounce. It's even bigger here when you look at the NASDAQ side. So we closed near the highs, although overall the ranges were pretty narrow. On Wednesday here tomorrow, we've got ADP non-farm payroll at 8:15, final services PMI at 9:45. ISM non-manufacturing PMI and factory orders at 10. Crude oil inventories at 10:30. We've still got some key data left for the week ahead. So hopefully we'll get some action, some volatility. I wouldn't say Tuesday was super exciting. We did have a pretty big winner, though, in Netflix, so that was all right. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple of weeks. Have a great trading Wednesday.